Well, hello and welcome to Philosophy 120 for the fall semester at Cal State University Dominguez Hills. I am your instructor, K.D. Workman, this semester, and all I propose to do in what follows is to just give you a basic orientation to the navigational structure of your Blackboard course. I suspect that by now you're no stranger to distance learning, but for those of you who might be a little bit new at this, I hope that this will be of some help to you as you proceed throughout the semester. I hope you had a great summer. I know we've all been through quite a bit. In many instances, heat. In some instances, I'm sorry to say, fire. And furthermore, of course, there is the pandemic in the background. Do let me know throughout the semester if you have any concerns or issues that I might be able to help you with. For now, let's take a look at what is called the navigation pane. I think it probably is fairly straightforward and hopefully intuitive, but in any case, if you go to the Home link, you basically are going to get information that comes to you from the university. And as you can tell, it's so early at this point in time, there's not too much going on, but there probably will be at some point, and you ought to take a look at late-breaking announcements that come from Cal State Dominguez Hills. Basically, it's important that you take a look at the announcements section of the course periodically because I will be posting at least once a week, if not more often, information about the course and also about our subject matter and late-breaking news that I hope will be of some interest to you and also of some helpfulness in your attempts to understand at a deeper level our subject matter, which is critical reasoning. The required textbook has been on order at the Cal State bookstore for quite some time. You can always rent a copy. There should be available options from the publisher for this textbook, but just be sure to remember that you do not need what is called the Connect Plus Access card. Rental at the digital level is a little less expensive, and you should be able to find a used copy at the bookstore, and that should save you a little bit of money. If you need to know a little bit more about me, there's a brief bio and my contact information, and I'll mention to you at this point in time that the primary mode of contact for me is my CSUDH email account. And I tend to get back to students within a couple of hours, but certainly no longer than a 24-hour wait period. Now, as the semester progresses, and if it turns out to be the case that I have a lot of questions and concerns, then I'll post a telephone number as well. We will also be using, as an option, Blackboard Collaborate or Ultra, which is basically accessed through the virtual office link. We don't have to worry about that just now, but I'll post an announcement indicating my availability. The purpose of a virtual office is simply to set up the opportunity for you to contact me in real time if you desire. The conferencing platform that is used and built within Blackboard is very similar to Zoom, and I'm guessing as some of you have already had a hopefully wonderful experience using Zoom, but I'll continue to utilize the one that's built into Blackboard because it's quite compatible with the overall learning management system that we're using. And once again, I want to emphasize that it's optional. I'll be posting a time. It'll probably be 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock every Saturday, where if you require an instant or more detailed answer to some of your questions, we'll be able to get online synchronously and discuss those things. One of the most important aspects of your course is the discussion board area. And your first assignment would be due the 31st, but notice that you also have actually 2 assignments due at that time. One of them is simply the introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what your goals are, try to warm up the class so that we have an opportunity to be able to learn a little bit about each other. So share what you're willing to share in the Introduce Yourself section. And then, of course, the more formal assignment, also due on the 31st, has to do with Chapter 1. And you probably are going to be in a position to answer that question on your own without necessarily reading that chapter, but I think if you read that chapter, it's going to help you. And from that point forward, all of the discussion board requirements, rubrics, and topics, prompts that we will be concerned about this semester will occur in sequential order all the way through to the end of the semester. Now, what I expect of you when you get into the discussion areas is to reply to at least 2 other students and then reply to the original prompt with what we call a substantive response. And what that means is that what you're offering is a relatively well-reasoned, thought-out response to the prompt that has been posted. Please do pay attention to the how to write a paper area. This is nothing to worry about for a while, but do take a look at it because it is due all the way at the end of the semester. It's easy to forget about it. I will be posting suggestions and reminders throughout the semester about the paper. And as you get through the first couple of weeks of the course, I think it would be a good idea for you to consider what sorts of topics to write about and to do a little bit of research on. And of course, since it is a philosophy class, the paper will be argumentative in structure. And what that means is that you take a position on a topic and attempt to justify it with good critical thinking techniques that you'll be learning about in class. Now, the rest of the course, I hope, will prove to be straightforward. Click on week 1, and there you have essentially what's due, when it is due, and you find out what the content is by clicking on the associated link. Take a look at the chapter objectives. That'll give you an idea of what to focus upon in your reading. We also have an area called Chapter Overview, which gives you a summary of the contents of the book. And then for just about every week, I have my own presentation, which is narrated. And it is an endeavor to try to provide you with an opportunity to be able to get further insight into what critical thinking is. And most of these are actually just slide programs and shows, but I do have some narrated materials as well. So, don't forget that each week you basically have the pattern in which you take a multiple choice quiz and then submit a written assignment. I've provided a rubric for the written assignment to give you a target with regard to what to shoot for in terms of structure for your written work. Try to pay attention to the deadlines. If you cannot make a submission by the posted deadline, do email me. Generally what that means is that if you go a day or two without making the deadline, then you might get a point reduction of approximately 10%. That doesn't always happen because I realize that many of us, myself included, have things that come up, sometimes that interfere with projects that we're undertaking, so I'm fully aware of the fact that that can happen. At week 8, you'll have a midterm exam, and basically you get an opportunity to be able to look over the questions. It is open book. It is timed, but I think that you'll find that the parameters there are such that you will be able to easily fit within them once you have read the textbook. And of course, the midterm covers chapters 1 through 7, and the final exam will cover the remaining chapters of the textbook as well. So I think that is about it. Critical reasoning is an extremely important nuts and bolts course from my perspective. It should help you to understand at a deeper level, a more analytical level, the subject matter that is taught in some of the other courses that you're taking this semester as well. We do spend some time discussing current events. By its very nature, critical reasoning should be applied to things that we're reading in the news and accessing off the internet. Anytime we have a belief that is challenged or somebody poses a belief or perspective or assertion or claim, and it's a serious one, you should take a look at it from a critical thinking point of view. Now, for a moment, let me discuss the content of the discussion board area. Once again, what I want you to do is to be able to respond to the prompts in a meaningful way, but I do my utmost to avoid political commentary. So please be sure that you do not use the forums in order to grandstand or gaslight, as they say. Simply use your critical thinking skills to try to reply to the prompts in as honest and meaningful and substantive way as you can. If you need to contact me, dborkerman@csudh.edu is my email address, and I'll reply as quickly as I possibly can. Take good care, and I hope that this answers some of your initial questions. I wish you the best and most successful semester. Bye for now.